I'll have this recorded and I'll have this sent to you by Monday. So you can go back and watch it again. And then also, if you have any questions anytime in the future, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, whenever, just message me anytime and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Sweet.
All right. So what got you interested in coaching?
So I used to play Overwatch 1, and I was into it for a good bit. I wasn't ever really that good. I think the max I had rank Overwatch 1 was gold 5 or something.
Sure.
And then my friends, however, they were really into this game, and when Overwatch 2 was announced and everything, and the hype was big, they got back into it, and everyone was placing Grandmasters, and I got into it a little bit later, and I actually found myself enjoying the game again, so I was trying to play with them. However, the skill gap is very noticeable.
Sure.
And so I've been trying to improve myself so that way we don't lose because I'm underperforming.
Right.
Even though we only play quick play, so I guess to a degree it's not that serious, but it's I don't want to be the weak link all the time,
Sure. One little quick note on that. You know how matchmaking works, right? So you being the weak link is also what's allowing your teammates to have easier games, right? Because the enemy team is also going to have a weak link, right? So your ranking up should be a selfish, using that term kind of loosely, a selfish goal to be playing at a closer level to your friends, right? And just to overall feel a little bit less overwhelmed. But it will not make you win more games necessarily. Because what's going to happen is you're going to improve. Matchmaker's going to go, oh, this guy's not gold anymore. Time to insert a new level of difficulty.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard again, right? So it's going to try to force a 50% win rate because that's what a good competitive game does. So, I respect the goal to rank up because I think playing with a massive gap between you and your friends is not fun. But do it because you want to be that kind of a player, not because you want your friends to win more, because that's ultimately not going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely understand you're gonna lose games. That's obviously unavoidable. But I definitely do want to get better. And
sure,
I've actually now I've actually found a couple characters that I do enjoy playing. Before I was just kind of playing everybody, but now that I actually have a couple characters I like and I enjoy the playstyle with,
sure,
I find the game a lot more enjoyable.
Good. And your form, you said Zenyatta and looking to pick up Lifeweaver. What is that at the moment?
So I definitely have been one-tricking Zenyatta for the past couple months. I was invested in Lifeweaver a bit, and I kind of stopped playing Lifeweaver, not necessarily because I don't enjoy playing him. However, I feel maybe it just didn't feel as fun, I guess, as playing Zen.
Sure. So mostly just Zen right now?
Yeah. I have been
good
getting
choice.
back. I have been getting back into Lucio.
Okay.
I only played Lucio really for support.
I see that by your name, Lucio Fast. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So I got back into it, and I haven't played him since Overwatch 1. So that's been fun.
Okay.
But yeah, mainly Lucio. Or not Lucio, fucking Zen.
Zen, yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, so you play Overwatch around 4 hours, at least 6 days a week. And is that mostly just quick play with friends? Is some of that competitive? Is that solo queue? What's the percentage breakdown, if so?
I'd say it's mostly quick play because they're on PC and I'm on console. So if I'm playing with them, we have to play quick play.
Okay, so mostly quick play.
Yeah, there are some days where I do competitive just myself.
Yep.
But today, for recordings, I did comp by myself.
Great.
But
yeah.
Mostly quick play.
Okay, so moment of transparency here. The best environment for improvement is quick play, or not quick play. Competitive, solo queue competitive. And there's a reason why that's the case. First off, there's a higher percentage of game time per queue time just because of the attack and the defense for each round, right?
Yeah.
But the more important thing is that you're competing versus players of your skill level, which means that there's a perfect balance of difficulty and your abilities. Whereas if you play in a stack of friends that's higher ranked than you, you're going to feel overwhelmed at times, and you're going to be encouraged to build more passive habits that are not good for you to improve. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm going to encourage you to incorporate a little bit, key term being a little bit, of solo queue consistently every day if you can, if not every other day. And by a little bit, I might literally mean one game. One.
Just like throwing a game in there.
At the start, preferably at the start. If you can fit that into your schedule, that's best because that's when you're fresh. That's when you got a little bit more energy. 1 or 2 games if you can per day, if possible. Because I know how it is. I've set goals for myself with Overwatch that were like not in line with my, like how much fun I was having, right? And I burned out in those goals pretty quickly, right? So if you have fun playing quick play with friends, obviously, then that needs to be the majority of your play time, of course. But if you want to rank up, then you need to play solo queue competitive. So you need to find like an alchemist, right? What percentage, how badly do I want to improve versus how badly do I just have fun playing with my friends? And what percentage is the perfect mixture? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
And that's for you to figure out. But I will say, if you do solo queue, the 2 things you need to be looking for is consistency and expediency. The sooner the better. I guess quicker the better, but the sooner the better is really where I'm going for there. Does that make sense?
What if I may ask, just because I've actually never heard the word before, what do you mean by expediency?
Expediency is more of like getting it done quickly, but that's not exactly the right term. I would just say getting it done first. Just
so making it a priority.
Making it a priority, not because it needs to be the most important thing you do, but the first hour or 2 of your gameplay is where you have the most energy and the most focus, right? And we want to make sure that you're spending that quote unquote currency on your solo queue and not in quick play with friends. Because your quick play with friends is fun. Your solo queue is practice, right? And fun, practice and fun are not necessarily antonyms, right? Like, but for right now, we need to make sure that it gets put in the proper place.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Now again, that might mean a very minor adjustment. And in fact, I would not encourage you to go way overboard with the solo queue because you might find that steals the fun of the game from you, right? You might really enjoy stacking with friends. You don't need to make dramatic changes to rank up. You just need to make small adjustments. Now, like let's say we get you to plat or diamond and you're like, I'm playing 1 or 2 ranked games a day and I'm kind of stuck in like high plat, low diamond. Then yeah, we might need to have a conversation about, okay, if you want to break that next threshold, you might have to make an additional sacrifice, but we'll cross that road when we get there. We're not there yet. Why worry about it, right?
Yeah.
So I would focus on making a small adjustment with where your playtime is spent without compromising your fun, without compromising your time spent with friends, just to get in 1 or 2 ranked games, if possible, per day of Zenyatta and with things that you need to practice with. And then I have one additional set of advice for you. When you quick play with friends, I want you to avoid playing safe. I want you to, I don't know if this is something that you already do now. Maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but I don't want you to avoid doing things because you're scared that you're going to feed and be the reason that you lost the game. As best as you possibly can. Because that's where stacking with friends is bad practice. Because you're going to be playing versus masters players, grandmaster players, and diamond players, and they will kill you. In fact, they'll kill you for doing things that aren't even mistakes. You're just not good enough mechanically to beat them when you should, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean what you did was a mistake. So what I want you to do is when you practice the couple of things that will give you in your solo queue, when you go into quick play with friends, I want you to actually, when you can, practice those exact same things, even if it gets you killed. Now you might be like, well, I don't want to throw the game. I'm going to start throwing the game. You won't, because what is objectively good in your gold games is also objectively good in your grandmaster games. So even if you die, you're probably already dying a lot in those games. And if you're not, it's because you're playing ridiculously passive and providing 0 value. So if you feed more, you'll also be providing more value. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to encourage you to adapt a play style and apply it indiscriminate of what rank that you're applying in. or playing in, excuse me. Don't feel like you're throwing more games. You won't. Trust me. You will be doing providing just as much value as you were before. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, definitely don't be scared to be the glass cannon I need to be.
Right. Because again, the point being is that as it is right now, if you're playing too safe, you're providing zero value. You may not be dying, but you're providing zero value. So if you then try to make plays or do things that we might tell you to do in your gold games, and you try them in a master lobby and quick play, and you die, it's not like, oh no, you died. Wow, woe is me. You weren't doing anything anyway before, right? So you might as well try to learn something along the way. Your death stats will be higher, but maybe your elimination stats will be a little bit higher as well, your assists and so on. And so I think like we want to make sure that what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you a little bit more solo queue practice, and then we're trying to make the time spent with your friends a little bit more productive as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that's a lot to chew on, but I think it's really, really important. Any questions so far?
No, I think I got everything.
Okay. You said you're gold right now, correct?
Yeah, I was gold 1 at the time of submission, but as of this morning, and I went 5-5, and I deranked to gold 2.
Okay, sounds good. We would like you to aim for plat. Is what we'd like you to do. Your long-term goal here: reach grandmaster support, be the best Zenyatta player my friends have ever seen. That's great.
Yes,
let's aim for plat. Let's see what we can do to get you to plat. Right. One step at a time. Like I said, small adjustments. Short term, improve knowledge on maps and basic mechanics, orb usage, use of cover, moving from cover to cover. Sounds like you kind of already have an idea of what you need to practice. Okay. What do you feel holding you back from improving? Mentality. I feel as though I blame my deaths on others too often when I'm sure that someone from an outside perspective could tell me something I could have done to make my situation more favorable. Makes sense. Now, when you say you blame your deaths on others, is it lack of peel, or I should have gotten help, or something like that?
I tend to have a lot of engagements with flankers and or just DPS where I feel like I'm left hung out to dry almost. And I have caught myself in situations where I'm like, man, why did the tank let I don't know, the soldier walk past him? Or why am I right next to a Genji and I'm not getting help with this Sombra that's shooting me?
Right.
But I also do notice myself, like I think I already mentioned it, the cover thing. I have a spatial awareness problem. Better with it, but in terms of just rotating and trying to find the good cover usage, I struggle.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, we'll take a look at it then. You are on console, yes. And okay, we'll take a look at that. Now, do you have all the sensitivity settings that you need? I'm not a console expert, but I assume that you've looked up videos and you have that all relatively sorted.
I haven't actually looked up videos for sensitivity, but I have experimented, and I think I'm at a good sensitivity that I'm comfortable with.
Okay, excellent. And then we don't need to worry about that then. Okay. You said at least at the time of the forum, you said you want to work on Life Hoover as a backup. Is that still the case, or are you on the I want to make Zenyatta work train?
I think for now I'm on the I want to make Zenyatta work. I think focusing on this would help better with just the understanding of gameplay, and then maybe I can branch out. But for now, I think this is where I gotta focus.
Works for me. Okay, 6 hours of sleep, a little on the low end. If that's something that you could at all improve, even just by half an hour, right? We talked about small adjustments for your solo queue. I don't know if you have any health issues. I don't know if what your schedule looks like, but 6 hours of sleep is not great. It's not going to help you improve. It's gonna make your ability to emotionally regulate. It's gonna make your ability to learn and even your ability to react a little bit slower.
What do you suggest is like good rest for that? Then
I would say 8 again, but see that's a kind of a flawed question because that goes back to your solo queue thing. What's the optimal way to improve in solo queue? Play 3 to 4 hours a day of solo queue. But you're not going to do that, right? That's too much. You want to play with your friends. So let's be honest with you. Are you going to get 8.5 hours of sleep per night? No, it's not going to happen. So can you aim for 6.5? You know what I'm saying? Because that's almost 4 hours of sleep more per week. It's a lot of sleep. So yeah, I think that's worth pointing out. It's going to help you overall. It's going to help you out. Okay. I don't really have any other questions. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Do you want to send me the code and I can stream through Discord?
Yep.
Nice. Which one do you want to start with here?
I think let's start with the B7.
Got it. See, okay?
We can. Give me 1 second. I have to switch to my computer.
That's fine. Yep, that's fine. I know how that goes with console. It's awkward.
And yep, I can see.
Okay. Should be good to go. So, what is Zen good at? You tell me.
He's really good at damage, and he's good at stopping aggressors when people are trying to get into the back line.
Yep. Zen is, you talked about a glass cannon. In many ways, he's a little bit less glass than he was before. But he is a cannon, certainly. Massive amounts of damage. You have Discord available to you. And you're still relatively glass when compared to a lot of the other Overwatch 2 supports. So for you, it's about finding a good range. What would you describe as Zen's effective range, if you know what that means?
I would say for just normal, like, choke points and stuff, probably 25 to 30.
Sure.
And then as we're getting more aggressive and taking off angles, trying to be around more like 15 to 10.
Sure. Definitely longer. One of the longest in the game, really. There's not a lot of... There are advantages to getting close, but you have to do it selectively, correct? So there's always a risk involved with that. So for you, is I want you to kind of consider, where's the best sightline for me to put up pressure? Who should I be shooting? And then where's my cover, right? So let's take a look here. Anything recently that you've been practicing with Zenyatta?
I've definitely been trying to be more aggressive with Zen. Prior...
Why?
Huh? Did you say why?
Yeah, sure. Why?
I understand that the best portion of his role is that his damage, and that trying to focus and killing supports, DPS, etc.
Sure.
is extremely beneficial for our push.
Sure.
So the Discord itself, like, the utility is really good, but just me giving good healing orbs in Discord will only provide so much value if I'm not putting out the damage.
Sure. Okay, let's take a look here. Any questions about Zenyatta specifically before we just get rolling?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, let's take a look here. Okay. So one of the first things that you need to be doing with Zenyatta is a term called I call orbing aggression. Orbing aggression, and that goes for both your Harmony and your Discord. When we talk about what Harmony does, right, it's healing, just straight up healing. But the question always is who needs the healing? And I ask you right now, who needs the healing on your screen right now?
The Junkrat, because he's literally in front of their faces.
Orbing aggression, right? You want to support aggression, right? And you look at this here, and you have your Harmony Art parked in your Ramatra.
Yeah.
Right? But your Ramatra's not going aggressive. Now, I'm going to add one more little detail with Harmony specific. I am a big fan of orbing squishies when they're going aggressive over tanks. Reason why that is I know that there's some coaches out there that prefer orb on tanks. They're wrong. The reason why you orb squishies whenever they're going aggressive is that 30 healing per second is more than double the amount of effective healing than it is on a tank. You kind of see what I'm saying? Now, I understand that an orb on a tank might keep him in armor and there's some calculations in there, but it doesn't matter. 30 healing on a Junkrat right now is a lot of freaking healing. 30 healing on a Ramatra, even if the Ramatra was just as aggressive as the Junkrat, is significantly less useful. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
The other thing to keep in mind as well is that it's easier to heal a tank for other supports than it is for them to heal a DPS. So if you're playing with an Ana, or if you're playing with a Baptiste, a Moira, anything, right? It's very difficult for them to heal a squishy target, whereas you just press a button and it's automatic healing, right?
Yeah.
So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you orb aggression, prioritize squishies. Now, if your Junkrat's sitting back here and your Ramatra's in here, you better freaking orb your Ramatra, right? Always orb aggression. But if you have to choose between two targets, always prioritize the squishy. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, that's a little bit of an information dump, but I'm going to add one more layer. You ready for this? Orbing aggression. That also applies to your Discord. So right now, who should be Discorded right now?
Probably gonna go with either Orisa or Baptiste.
Okay, why Baptiste?
Because he has high ground.
Great.
And so that means he could be more aggressive and put out more damage.
Excellent, excellent. Even May here would be useful because even though she's slightly behind the Orisa, she's still playing aggressive here. So if you Discord her and shoot her, she's in agony. Now, I am a proponent of generally you're going to Discord and shoot the same target, but there's some circumstances when you won't. Regardless, orb aggression, Discord and harmony, orb aggression. It's that simple. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So let's you failed orb aggression. Your Junkrat didn't get enough help. Failure number 1, but that's okay. Who should be Discorded right now?
Go for the May because she's the farthest out.
Right. Who else do you see?
Or that Tracer up there.
That Tracer up there. Exactly. You got it. Now, I understand with console, moving your crosshair is difficult, but this movement has to be done as quickly and fluidly as you possibly can. So something to kind of keep an eye on. Now, what do you think of your positioning here?
I remember this game from this morning. I was trying to go up to the high ground, and then I fell down on top of that bus.
I see that, yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little mentally slow here. I had a May wall behind me, and I didn't even notice it until I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not moving backward.
Right,
and then,
right.
And then I think you can notice it. I like look at the May wall and look back at the
You're Orisa. Like, crap, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I will say, then maybe this is a situation where, obviously if you had not fallen, where would you have gone?
I would have gone up to the door frame, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that way I can try and get a little bit of cover and have a escape route.
Works for me. Okay, let's keep going here. Nice. Good. Walk back out, make a play. Now, I'm going to throw another clip dump at you. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
What should you be doing right now?
What should I be doing?
Think about your mechanics, right? What's your left click? What's your right click? What's the equivalent on console? Your secondary fire and primary fire.
Should I be charging volley?
You should be. Why?
So that way I can get a potential burst and just get the kill instead of having to aim.
Sure. So when do you charge your secondary fire?
I tend to charge it, or I think you're supposed to charge it specifically when moving cover and then trying to just get burst damage.
Yep.
And alt charge.
Exactly. Anytime you can't see anybody, you're charging your right click instantly, or your secondary fire, immediately. Like right now, this is downtime, charge your secondary fire, Because when you come out here, you will have 4 shots right here at this point in time. Maybe not 5, but 4 shots. And 4 shots here is a lot more than 1. Now, should you charge your secondary fire now?
No. At this point, I should be single firing because in a situation where I'm visible to the enemy, left click will not only do less DPS, but I just leave myself vulnerable for however long I'm charging up those orbs.
Exactly. With using your primary fire, I think it doubles your DPS. So just shoot. Good Discord. Good shots. Force her out. That's good. And this is another situation where it's like, okay, fix your orbs. And what should you be doing with your secondary fire, right? Here it comes. You see, right? Either you're charging secondary fire for a peak here, or you're using your primary fire in the tracer here. Looks like you're about to do the latter. Good orb of aggression. Do you see your Junkrat? He's aggressing. You see the tracer? She's aggressing. And look where your orbs are. Perfect primary fire. Now, who should the Discord orb go to? Obviously.
Straight to
Orisa. And there it goes. It's some nice shots. Orisa's out. And you notice how you're controlling space by doing this, right? Tracer wants to push forward? No. Orisa wants to push forward? No. Junkrat wants to walk forward? Sure. You're allowed to. You have my orb. This is great Zen play right here. And you're all doing this from a little bit of distance with a little bit of cover and a nice sightline. This is perfect Zenyatta gameplay. Again, good. Now, even good use of your secondary fire here, right? Now, I wouldn't be charging it any more than this, right? Why?
I'm actually not sure.
You could see them.
So
right?
It's just better to get like the two orbs.
So just get the 2 orbs and immediately start primary firing. Immediately. Don't waste any time. If you're looking at them, then you should be shooting at them. You should not be charging your secondary fire. The only time you should be charging your secondary fire is if you were like you got shot and then you had to use cover, then you charge your secondary fire, right?
Yeah.
You're charging your secondary fire when you should have just been shooting. Harmony orb. Let's see if you do it. Yep, there it is. Well done. Good shots in the bat. Nice. Now, I want to talk about this. This is I appreciate you willing to help here, but remember, you are controlling space because you are a threat with your damage, with your discord, and your harmony, correct? So when you do, when you're here, can that Orisa or Mei walk forward safely?
No.
No. When you are here, turning around, can the Orisa and Mei walk forward safely?
Yes, because I'm not doing anything to
And
them.
that's exactly what happens. You see that?
Yeah.
And that's how your Junkrat dies. Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind. I don't want you chasing little things around the map too much when there's damage to be done immediately, right now. Pursue that damage. Pursue that easy sightline. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I know that's a little bit of vague advice, but we'll keep looking for it. Good. Harmony. Now, who should you be Harmony orbing right now? This is a trick question.
I think it's already on the right person.
I think so. I think so too. I think so too. Good stuff. Now, Discord could be on Lucio or it could be on Orisa. And if you had a better position, if you hadn't dropped, sad, then maybe on Mei as well. But let's see what you do. Good. Don't press W here. You don't need to get closer to an Orisa and a Mei, right? This is called the plat magnet, right? You might not be plat, but it's a phrase I've used for 5 years. When you press W or the equivalent of it with your controller, when you hit shots, it's your monkey brain kicking in, right? Don't do that. If you could see them, keep shooting them, right? Keep shooting them.
Yeah.
Because that's scary. You just saw what you just saw this, you just saw that. That's why you don't press W. That being said, phenomenal orbs, Harmony and Discord. Great pivot to the Torbjorn there. Great pivot to the Mei. Pivot to the Tracer, really good. This is great. I could see you working so hard on your orb usage right now. Has it been something you've been practicing recently?
Yeah, it shows. I kind of learned I learned the orb mentality from watching your coaching videos.
Ah, well, good. Well, good. That guy's kind of an idiot, but I'm glad it was helpful.
When I first started, and
good.
That was like the big message. Orb the aggressor, orb the aggressor.
Sure. Right, exactly. Well, you're missing points, but that's normal. Just because you understand it doesn't mean that you could do it perfectly. But you're doing a pretty good job of it, right? It shows that you've been practicing. Keep it up. Okay, take that high ground. Nice shot. Prefer you to take the high ground here. Here's why. Because this high ground here, great sightline, right? But you know what you can do from this high ground? Take here, and then here, and then here. You see what I'm saying? It gives you sequential options you might not be aware of.
Gotcha.
Okay, good Harmony orb. Ramatra's the only one that's going aggressive. All right, let's walk. Might need a trance set. Good trance. A little close, which is what got you blizzarded. Would have preferred you to be on high ground, and this is insanity, right? I like you being aggressive sightline here, but there has to be a better location than this. Where?
probably could go around the car or around the where the torb is, the left wall.
Yep, exactly. Nice. Good harmony. Go help your life weaver out because nothing else. Holy cow, that's scary. Oh dear. Get her. She's low on blinks. There's nothing else to shoot. If you get her quickly, you can. Okay, man, now it's too late. Now you just need to find cover corner. This is too close. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no advantage to being here versus just being here, or honestly, like even here, right? There's no advantage. So this just gives the Orisa something to shoot and forces cooldowns, right? This is terrifying for you, right? And when you're terrified and getting life gripped and running, you know what you're not doing? You're not shooting. We need you. I want you absolutely, totally relaxed, playing the equivalent of an aim trainer back here. Just totally relaxed, right? But no, you got life gripped, and your Widow didn't, right? And so your Widow dies.
Yeah.
This is just mechanics. Should have died there. You should have died. Still too close. I can see the devil. You're like, I gotta kill, right? Which I respect. I respect the aggression, but take aggressive sightlines with a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
Zenyatta's have a tendency to play both too passive and too aggressive. Too passive in terms of that they never take off angles and they never take flanks, and too aggressive in the terms of that they press W a lot. This isn't just a you problem. This is just an across the board problem. So,
yeah.
Okay.
That being said, the harmony.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Now, I will say this, though. Your orb usage, for the most part, was pretty good. Where it got shaky was because things were so chaotic, you didn't know who to orb because you're too busy shrieking trying to keep yourself alive. So I actually think when you're relaxed, your orb usage is pretty good. But sometimes you're not very relaxed.
Yeah.
Where should you be right? Sight line with cover. Let's go. I love it. Who should you orb right now? I know you're going to do it too.
The Junker Queen.
And offensively.
And then orb the Pharah. That's her name.
And here it comes. Right. Oh, disaster. Look at her. Look at how much damage this Pharah could have done from this position. Now, I get it. She's feeding, right? Let's not pretend here. She's feeding, right? But what could she have done with a Harmony Orb? She would have stayed right here, right? She would have stayed right here. Maybe killed somebody. Yeah. That's your fault. And but you know what? At least the Ramatra is getting her. Nah, come get out of here with that. Now the Ramatra needs it, right? Now the Ramatra is the best guy, right? Because he's the only one going aggressive. It's like sometimes your brain kicks in and you're like, oh shoot, orbs. You notice that? I can see there's like a lot of cycling of your orbs there all of a sudden, almost for no reason. Just because it felt like you had kind of forgotten for a second. That's okay. It's gonna be, when you're building a habit, you're going to forget. It's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And which is why when we talked about like how many ranked games should you be playing per day, we said the first games that you play should be your solo queue ranked games, because that's when you're gonna have the most energy, right? And you're not gonna forget stuff as much. Harmony, your Ram, discord that Ashe. Your Ram is very, very excited. He wanted that ultimate badly. Huh. I can't see anybody.
Yeah,
there you go. Good orbs. This is a good angle. Got a little distance here. Just play aim trainer here. Let's go. Because here's the thing. You're looking at this and you're like, I can't see my team. Arrgh! Right? So what are your two options? Get off the high ground and go play with your team. Or what's your other option?
Just move back towards like the high ground earlier where Ana was.
Maybe. You ready for this one? Just stay here. Because you're losing your healing value from being here. You can't see anybody. But Do you
Yeah.
see the sightline that you have here? Do you see the cover and the high ground that you have here? Shoot people in the face. So if you're on an angle and you can't see your team, do damage. Do damage. Or go back and play a sightline with your team. I don't care. But if you're playing like you're so indecisive here, right? When really you could have just stayed here and just shot people in the face. That's it. You forced a Moira fade and you didn't even hit a single shot. So keep going. Right?
Got
Stick with it. Either make that aggressive off angle flank or angle around your team. But right now it's like you're so indecisive and you don't know what to do. And what ends up happening when you don't know what to do is you don't do anything. Close. Summer's a bit of a butt, to be honest, but you know, there's a risk every time she goes in. Now, you should not be here. Where should you be? Where is going to give you the most offensive pressure opportunities and allow you to harmony people that are really going aggressive?
Go on the high ground.
Zup, zup, zup. Harmony your Pharah, rain fire. You got it. So why are you here?
No
reason is a reason, right? That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes we do things just because I don't know. I just did it. I don't just kind of like my brain turned off, right? That's fine. It's not fine, but it's understandable. So it means that you got to stay engaged, right? You have to stay engaged. Where's the best angle that I could be? And the same thing here, right? Like you could be rotating up top here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I get the Sombra's a threat here, but there's opportunities to play around that. Play with cover, react quickly, find a sightline where your life weaver can see you. Orb that Pharah, she needs it. Orb that Pharah. You looked at that Pharah under pressure, and you're like, not worth my time. Stay with her. Orb her. She's under pressure right now. She's being aggressed on, right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, where's your Harmony Orb parked?
Right on the Ramattra.
Right. And is he going aggressive? No, actually, it's actually the Torb, right? or the Pharah is being aggressed on, right? Gotta keep an eye on that happen. You gotta keep an eye on that happen. The Discord is good on the Sombra, but by the time that you orb the Pharah, it's too late. Life grip has already been used. Okay? I think you guys might just lose this fight. Well, maybe. Yeah, no, you lose this fight. Okay. Ooh, well. Do you live? No, you don't live. Okay.
Nah, I was close to.
Good discipline on not trancing the Junker Queen ult. I see way too many Zenyatas do that, and it's like, hey, buddy, it's purple. They're purple. You can't heal that, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, if they'd lived, if your team had lived like an extra second longer, then maybe you can trance it. But yeah, okay. It's fine, Harmony Orb. Now sit right here and shoot. Sure. I see crit. I trance. Works for me. You're killing me. Where should you be?
Rotating back into cover.
Right? Now, that is a very, very, very vague and broad answer. But you know what? It's because you're right. There's a lot of options, aren't there? Give me some of those options. Where could you go?
Probably behind that like Symmetra at that window.
Mm-hmm. Where else could you go?
I could have gone to where that Moira is, kind of like out in that cubby.
Or here. Yeah. You could have gone.
I could have gone back
here
and played with. Yep.
Now this here wouldn't have been so hot because of the Bob, but yeah. The funny thing is, it's not that I don't want you to end trance passively. I don't. I just want you to end trance with a little bit of distance and cover. You could sit over here and pop off, right? But not in the open, because this is what happens, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's one of the situations where because you end it in the open, you should, again, be relaxing, drinking a martini, smoking a cigar, and burning their heads. But instead, you're under the world's most freakish panic, and you should be. And so you're not hitting shots. You're not relaxing and dating your orbs right. You're freaking out because you're positioned like a moron, right? It's not too aggressive. It's not too passive. It's just too out in the open. That's all there is to it. You can have your cake and eat it too with Zen. You could play both aggressively and preserve your life. Cover and angles. What do you need to practice from what you've seen so far?
Definitely not zoning out too much on damage and forgetting to use my orbs properly.
Right. Zoning out on
Keeping-
orbs is the key thing, right? Okay. What else?
Yeah. Keeping up on high ground, having proper line of sight and angles, and then cover and not being out in the open.
Now don't forget your secondary fire and primary fire as well too.
Yeah.
So
also
you
using that when I don't see anybody.
Right. You have a bit of a cornucopia of things to work on. I think that you are not bad at anything, and you're not good at anything, and that is both a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because it means that your path to improvement is not super one-dimensional. Right? There's a lot of little things to work on. It's a blessing because it's not like you have this really terrible habit that you're absolutely trash at and you should be ashamed of yourself and I'm going to go tell your mother, right? You're fine. Your orb usage is fine. Your mechanics are fine. Your positioning is fine. Your primary, secondary fire was fine. It wasn't bad throughout the entire VOD. It was just bad at points. So for you, it's going to be a little bit of everything. You're going to practice a little bit of everything. But in a way, maybe that's more of a blessing than anything because it's going to keep things fresh. You're going to be able to practice a lot of different things and not just only grind one thing over and over again. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay. Let's keep going. Zoning on orbs. Where should your orb be right now?
Two options. Onto the Bastion.
Bastion
or Ash.
Or Ash. Honestly, even Lifeweaver with this positioning right now, but probably Bastion or Ash, right? Okay. So, thank you. Secondary fire, fine. You're behind cover, so secondary fire. I'm behind cover. I'm getting shot. So orb, what should you be doing? Secondary fire, and look at you go. You see it? You do have good moments with your primary fire and secondary fire, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. What's actually funny here is you actually died to Hanzo. I don't know if you knew that.
I did?
You did. Watch. See that?
Oh, wow. I couldn't even notice that.
That's why you died so fast. So that's a cover problem, right? That's a cover problem. Yeah. You were ready for that Sombra. Oh, dear. That Sombra just... The aim assist kicked in real hard on that Lifeweaver. Oof. Okay. Anyway, that's unfortunate. So primary fire, secondary fire. Initial positioning, good. Orbs, a little bit slow, but good. Cover, that's it. I actually didn't even mind the initial positioning. You had cover, you had a nice sight line. Your healers could see you, so, okay. Good orbs. Good secondary fire. You're going to kind of rotate out here. I don't mind it. Careful of that Hanzo. How on earth? What? There's just no way that just did that. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter all that much, but that is unreal. I don't think I've ever seen a hack like that before. That is something else.
I was definitely scared too, and then I noticed she was all the way down there.
This is another one of those moments where it's like you look at what's going on right now. Who deserves Harmony Orb?
At the moment, I can only see Ash, and I would think Ash.
Yeah, just Ash. Why would you orb Lifeweaver? Is that guy likely to go aggressive? No, it's Lifeweaver. The guy's the most boring hero in Overwatch 2 since Brigitte release, right? The guy doesn't do anything, right? He's fine. He's 225 HP. He's got shields. He's got his dash. He's got his pedal. He's fine. He's not doing anything aggressive. And yet it feels like you feel this need that I have to swap things up. But why? Now that wouldn't have saved the Ash. He kind of got logged in the face, right? But still, it's the habit that concerns me, right? You didn't need to swap your orbs. So not only did you put it on the wrong person, but you also wasted time. If it's on the right person, leave it. And arguably right now, more than anything else, where should your orb be? As soon as you release the secondary fire, where should you go?
Right to Ramatra.
Right to Ramatra, or you see what's on the left side of your screen?
Or to Sim.
Or to Symmetra, right? Now this is a tricky one because Symmetra isn't aggressive yet, but she will be, and Ramatra needs the healing now, but Ramatra's a tank. So honestly, either one is fine. Discord's good. Quickly pivoted over to Sim. You don't. You died at Hanzo. That's a little bit unfortunate, but okay. Orb. That's a good orb. That's a good Harmony. That's a good Discord. Now let's walk forward. Find a sightline. Good orb in the Ramatra because he's going aggressive. Good positioning here. You got some cover. Be careful of the Hanzo. It's the only thing you have to watch out for. One-shot heroes are really annoying as Zenyatta, right? Because you're like, oh, I can play cover, but I can still get one shot.
Yeah.
Don't. Okay, so here's the funny thing. You run from Sombra, but first off, you know where she is. Second off, you have to support here. And third off, and this is the big one, when you run from Sombra, look where you run to. No! Right? You should die to Hanzo. You should die to Hanzo right here. So the real threat isn't the Sombra, it's what the Sombra's making you do.
Gotcha.
Makes sense? Hold the angle. Yeah. Certainly get back to cover. Okay, thank you. Good harmony. Lifer definitely needs it. Good Discord. That's actually a pretty nice life grip there. That was nice of him.
Yeah, I added that guy after this game. He
was useful.
Was a couple good
very nice. Grips. Very nice. Good shots. You're the tank murderer. Careful. Hanzo should die. He does. This is the Zenyatta dream here, right? Not under a lot of pressure. Just play an aim trainer. And you're doing a great job. Orb that Ramacha. Good. Great. Don't think you need to trance this, but you might need to. I don't like your ending position here. Where should you be?
Back up the high ground.
Back up the high ground. This angle right here. You see this? Great position. What's the problem with your positioning? What's the advantage of being here as opposed to here? It's a small advantage, but it's important.
You get good sightline of everyone, including
good sightline. But don't you have a good sightline here? Looks pretty good to me, right? Where'd you cover here?
Only the payload in that wall.
Only the payload in that wall, right. This has the floor, this corner here, and you can easily cut off the entire enemy team's sightlines. Not to mention, you also have rotation opportunities as well. Get off the floor. Find cover. It's also a little close, too. You see that? And this is why you don't want to be close, right?
Yeah.
Get him. He's one. You go it. Nice. A lot of good things to say here. I think orb usage is relatively decent. I think mechanics are relatively decent. I think positioning started decent and went down the toilet. So, you know, all right, let's keep going. Any questions so far?
Nope.
All right, keep up the good work. Careful about standing still versus the Hanzo. He'll line his log up right at your head height. I don't mind this. You're up a few, make a play. You know, the key thing, okay, so the tricky thing with Zenyatta is not standing perfectly still the entire fight, but finding safe places to rotate to that have cover and sightlines. Like, I know so many people are going to watch this review, right? Sadly. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to pay attention. And you're going to be like, all right, Spilo said, you know, you should just stand here. You know what they're going to do is they're going to stand right here and they're not going to move the entire fight. And then you're going to kill like 4 people and they're just going to stand here. And they're just going to stand here. And the enemy team's going to do like this crazy, like big Lucio, Mei, Ryan rotate and come up here. And they're just going to stand here. And they're just going to stand here. And they're going to die. Right? You need to find a sightline with cover. But that is always changing where you want to go. You need to pay attention. You're up a bunch here. You see your Sombra. You're like, you know what? I could drop here. This is safe. This is cover. This is a nice sightline. This is cover. And guess what? It's crucial that you did that. You see that? Very important that you did that. Even here, is this feeding?
No.
Not right now, it's not. Why?
I'm able to retreat back if I have to. And
you'll obviously have to, right? But for right now, you got a shot. Take it.
Yeah.
You have cover. You have a great sightline. Again, look at the distance between you and even the diva, right? She can't even get to you in time. So just take the shot. Go for it. And then rotate back and find your next position. See, even here, is this feeding?
No, because I have Ramatra in front of me as basically cover.
So what are you going to do? Oh, the Ramatra, you shouldn't be pushing through that choke. I'm going to sit up here with my arms crossed and type in match chat angrily. No, your Ramatra's feeding his brains out. I don't know what he's doing. But you know what? You're going to take a sight line with cover around where he is. Now, you might get punished by somebody taking a flank here, but you know what? You have to play around your team. You have to pay attention, and this is what you're doing. So this is going to... Oh, that almost got a lot of value, right? Very good. Now, as people back up, you rotate back. Now, where should you go?
Back up to high ground.
Back up to high ground. Now, would you go up top to here? Maybe not. You might not have time. Would you go up to here? That's probably the best option right now, right? Let's see what you do. Kind of spooky. At least play the Mega. I understand that one was tricky because the Ramattra pressed W again. Right? So, but you know what? That's fine. Take a shot if you want to, but do it quickly because you got to rotate back up to top. You gotta go. It's too late. You see?
Yeah.
I would rather you have rotated up top here and died, or at least had a chance, because you would have had a chance of making a play here, right? Rather than you stand out in the open and not make a decision. Now, obviously, the optimal play may have been to rotate back up top to position like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But see, even this, as long as you're in cover, it's okay. The problem with why this feels so bad is because you could have played this here. Heck, you could have done you could have gone way off. You could have hit the crack pipe and gone like hard flank and hit under, like at least you would have had cover, right? You probably would have got your transfers. But look at your first reaction. No. This is not the place to be. Not the place to be. But yeah. And so that forces trance and grip. Now, you did put out pressure. You did make a play. So, you know what? I don't love it, but at least you did something with it.
Could have definitely been better.
Brilliant. Brilliant rotation, by the way. And brilliant right click. You're behind cover, and you just absolutely diffed him. Discord? Oh, it's on cooldown. Whoopsies. Press, start here, rotate to here. Or if you want to push these guys, do so from at least here to start. You got to be careful. This is like one of the things where like, oh, I didn't know the Sojourn was there. But you have to assume. That's why cover matters, right? Good. This again makes sense because of what your Ram is doing. Don't press W though. Don't press W. Press S. S. Back. Yes. This is good. This is insanity, but it's good because do you understand the difference between what's happened in this fight and what's happened previous? Why are you here?
To try and help my Ramattra.
Try and help your Ramattra. Do you have cover and range from this position right now?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, yes. You press a little bit of W, which I'm not so happy with. Where should you be instead here?
Going back probably to that door.
Back to this door, right? This has been much safer. Much safer. The good news, though, is that you actually then rotate that direction. You see that here? You then hit some crazy shots. Look at that from downtown. You press S. I'm saying pressing S, but it's the controller equivalent of pressing backwards, right? You go to the cover. You go to the Mega. Now, I wouldn't be pressing W here. I would still be holding on the corner. I like the play. I just want you to attune the micro of how and where you're using cover a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Life Hoover bails you out. You are in it to win it. You are like, we are done playing games right now. I mean, it's okay. If it's just the Life Hoover, yeah, press W on them. It's fine. I don't give a rip. Yeah! Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm going to try and not look smug when I say cover again. Because there's zero reason for you to be here and not here. You don't gain anything by being here, right? But you're so... Oh, dear. All right, last fight here. Let's make it pretty. Good. Beautiful. Good. Get that Discord. That was an interesting life grip. Okay, you're going cheeky mode here. All right. Now be careful, because what's the problem with this angle? It's not... I understand why you're taking it. You're trying to clutch here. You have trance. But what's the problem?
It's long, so I don't have anywhere to run if I need to.
It's long and short in all the wrong ways, all right? It's long in terms of you have nowhere to go. But it's short because look at how close you are when you peek this. That's not what Zenyatta wants all the time with flanks. So be very careful with this. Oh dear, they didn't see you. They did see you, so you run away. Be decisive with that trance. Now, I'm begging you, do not finish this trance on card. I'm begging you. Where should you finish this trance? You've got so many options.
I should try and aim to go upstairs, and I'm very
if
sorry for what's about to happen next.
sure, or here, right?
Yeah.
Or here. I mean, if you haven't had time, you could even finish it back here and bait some people, then peek out again here. Do not end in the middle of the enemy team. I know that's where you're going to end. Okay, it actually, this isn't the worst thing. This really is. This is already leagues better than where you ended it over here. Remember?
Yeah.
You have cover. You're kind of on the outside looking in. So you know what? This is okay. I was expecting way worse than this. I was expecting worse. This is actually not even that bad. Look, there's your cover value. There's your cover value. Oh no, I'm being shot. I'm safe now. Right? Good. Now you're a little close, as we brought up, but there's a lot of chaos going on right now. Come on, come on, come on. Good orbs in the squishy. Don't press W! Don't press W. Hold the angle. Hold the angle, I beg. Please. This is okay. Okay, there it is. That was what you were expecting to happen, I assume, or what you remembered to happen.
Yeah.
What happens? Did they C9? They C9, don't they? Oh, they C9. Oh no. Look at the overtime. Okay, well, that explains that. All right, so let's take some notes here. What do you need to practice with Zenyatta? We talked about a lot of stuff.
The big things seem to be working on cover.
Work on consistency with cover. I like the angles, proactivity, but please have a corner. No excuses for it, right? Okay, what else?
Don't W key in without
not
taking up cover.
W key when hitting shots. Hold the angle, cover. Okay? Kind of goes back and point with the previous one, but yeah, keep going.
Always be mindful of the orb usage.
Mindful of orb usage. Don't let lapses of focus compromise your orbing aggression, right? What else? Those are the main ones for sure.
Working on using my charge in cover and
charging orbs in cover, otherwise primary fire. Maintain distance when you can on angles, sightlines. Doesn't need to be 50 plus meters away, but manage it. Now that's freaking Moby Dick in your DMs, right? So you're going to have to pick and choose these things and not try to work on everything, right? Because that's a lot. So prioritization, I actually think all of these could be worth practicing. Obviously, the cover one is probably going to be the biggest bang for your buck, but that's also going to be the most boring thing to practice in many ways. So I don't give a rip if you practice one thing per game, one thing per day, one thing per week, mix it around. Feel like you made a little bit of progress here, work on the next one. This is not going to be a check the box. The problem is now fixed. It's not. You're going to make marginal improvements and you're going to regress, then you're going to push forward, then you're going to regress again. It doesn't matter. So just one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Make sense?
Definitely.
All right. Any questions?
No, I think